Africa, I mean, the continent is just bathed in sunshine. Like, it's got the potential to be a renewable energy, a powerhouse, you know?
Yeah.
But how is that potential, like, how are people actually using it right now?
Yeah.
That's what we're going to look into today, right? With Holistic Energy and Engineering.
Right.
They're a company that's making some big moves in the African energy sector.
Right.
We've got, like, a whole bunch of sources on them, company profiles, news articles, even some cool graphics.
Hmm.
And get this, they're not just sticking to like one type of renewable energy. We're talking solar, wind, hydro. They're even
Wow.
dipping their toes into nuclear.
Interesting.
Yeah, and hold on tight because this is where it gets
Okay.
a little unexpected.
Yeah.
Elevators and escalators are also in the mix.
Whoa, that's interesting.
I know. It seems like a random leap, but trust me, we're gonna connect those dots.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Yeah. So to really get what holistic energy and engineering is doing, you kind of have to look at the bigger picture of energy in Africa.
Okay.
You know, a lot of countries are dealing with power grids that are kind of shaky. You know,
Yeah.
rolling blackouts. They call it load shedding over there,
Oh yeah.
and heavy reliance on fossil fuels still.
Right.
But there's also this huge surge of investment in renewables.
Okay.
So a company like Holistic Energy and Engineering is kind of coming in at a really key moment.
Yeah, and their reach is pretty impressive. Like the Cabanga Media Group article that we have highlights that they've got offices all over Johannesburg, Nairobi, Lusaka. It's like they're strategically positioned across the entire continent. You know,
Right.
Why is that? Why is that so important?
Well, think about it like this: implementing like renewable energy projects in your own city,
Oh.
you know, like wherever you live.
Yeah.
That comes with its own set of challenges, right? Regulations, infrastructure, even just like people's attitudes towards new technology.
Yeah.
Now, amplify that on a continental scale.
Right.
You know, different countries have different needs, different resources, different ways of doing things.
Yeah.
Holistic energy and engineering, having a local presence in all these different regions means they can like tailor their solutions to each specific context.
Oh.
They're not just coming and saying, okay, this is how you do renewable energy.
Right.
They're saying, okay, what are the specific needs of this region and how can we apply our expertise to that?
Like they're speaking the local energy language.
Exactly.
And speaking of impressive, their company profile boasts some serious numbers.
Okay.
327 megawatts of solar installed.
Wow.
105 megawatts of wind. I mean, those are massive figures.
Yeah.
But what do they actually translate to for like people living in those regions?
Yeah, so to put it in perspective, 327 megawatts of solar could power something like 200,000 homes.
Whoa.
That's a lot of light bulbs.
That's a lot of light bulbs, yeah.
But it's more than just homes, right? Think about the businesses, especially in areas where, you know, the power grid is not very reliable.
Right.
This kind of capacity could help companies reduce their reliance on those systems and even contribute to some energy independence.
Yeah, it's like they're creating pockets of energy stability.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's not just solar, they've got this whole diversified portfolio.
Right.
Now let's talk about the person behind all of this. Tshepo Murengwa, the company's founder and CEO, the article about him, paints him as a real visionary. What's interesting is that his background is in mining.
Oh, wow.
Which seems like, you know, a world away from renewables.
Yeah, for sure.
So how does that work?
Well, when you look into it a bit more, it's not as disconnected as it might seem.
Okay.
Murengwa's experience in mining, it gave him this deep understanding of large-scale projects.
Yeah.
Resource management, how industries operate, you know, in Africa specifically. And there's this quote from him that really stuck with me. He talks about envisioning a future where renewable energy is the foundation for industrial growth in Africa.
Wow.
It's a bold statement.
Yeah.
And it raises this really important question. Can this vision actually become reality.
Right. I mean, the potential is there, but what are some of the roadblocks they might face trying to make this happen?
That's where things get really, really complex.
Okay.
We're talking about, the need for major infrastructure development, attracting investment, navigating the political and economic landscapes of so many different countries.
Yeah.
It's a massive, massive undertaking.
Right.
But for now, let's shift gears a bit and talk about this seemingly out of place element.
Right.
Elevators and escalators.
Okay.
I mean, it's right there on their website. But how does it fit into this whole picture of renewable energy and sustainable development in Africa?
Yeah. I was scratching my head about that too.
Right.
Their website mentions seamless and enjoyable shopping experiences. What's the deeper connection here? It feels like we've been transported from, a solar farm to a shopping mall.
Yeah. It might seem like a jump, but think about it. As cities across Africa grow and modernize,
Mm-hmm.
they need reliable and efficient ways to move people up and down,
Okay.
especially in these multi-story buildings that are popping up everywhere.
Yeah.
That's where elevators and escalators come in.
Okay, I'm starting to see the link here.
Right.
But it's not just about installing any old elevator, right?
No, not at all.
They're approaching this with sustainability in mind as well.
Absolutely. Holistic energy and engineering understands that sustainable urban development isn't just about, generating clean energy.
Right.
It's also about using that energy efficiently.
Okay.
Their elevator and escalator systems are designed with that in mind. They incorporate all these smart features and technologies to minimize their environmental footprint.
So it's like they're bringing that same commitment to innovation and sustainability to like every aspect of their business, even something as like ordinary as an elevator.
Exactly.
Basically.
And that's where this idea of a holistic approach really comes into play, right?
Yeah.
It's not just a catchy name for the company.
Okay.
It's woven into everything they do, connecting the dots between energy generation, consumption, urban development, creating a system where all the pieces work together towards a more sustainable future.
So it's not just about building solar farms or wind turbines.
Right.
It's about creating this integrated ecosystem where sustainable energy powers a more efficient and livable urban environment.
Exactly. And that's why their work is so compelling. They're not just providing like energy solutions.
Yeah.
They're shaping the future of African cities.
That's awesome. Okay, so we've talked about like holistic energy and engineering's their big vision for Africa's energy future.
Right.
But let's zoom in a little bit, right? And look into the specifics of their projects.
Sure. I'm
really curious to see how they're like putting all these ideas into action.
Yeah, let's take a look at that installed capacity graphic from their company profile.
Okay.
It's a really good visual breakdown of their whole energy portfolio. And it really shows their commitment to like a diverse mix of renewable sources.
Right. It's not just solar panels like, covering the landscape. They've got, solar PV, wind, hydro, even a bit of nuclear and battery storage in there. It seems like they're really like carefully choosing the right tools for the job, depending on like the location and the specific needs.
Exactly. It's all about, making sure the solutions fit the context.
Mm-hmm.
Take hydropower, for example. It's a fantastic source of clean energy, super reliable, but you need the right geography, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Rivers, elevation changes, things like that. So it's very likely that their 97 megawatts of installed hydropower capacity is strategically placed in regions where they have those natural resources.
It's like they're playing a game of like energy chess.
Yeah.
Placing all their pieces strategically across the board.
Yeah, exactly.
What about those battery energy storage systems?
Oh yeah.
Those seem particularly important with the whole load shedding issue, right?
Oh, absolutely. Battery storage is like a game changer when it comes to those unpredictable blackouts.
Yeah.
It's like having a giant backup power source for whole communities.
Okay.
Those batteries can store excess energy from solar and wind, right? And then release it when people need it most.
Okay.
Like during peak demand or when the grid goes down.
Right.
Their 297 megawatts of battery storage is a really big investment.
Yeah.
In making sure that people have a consistent and reliable energy supply.
So it's not just about like generating the energy.
Right.
It's about making sure that energy is there when people need it.
Yeah, it's about that security.
Yeah, that's a huge step towards like energy security for a lot of communities.
For sure.
And speaking of energy security, let's talk about that small bit of nuclear in their portfolio.
Okay, yeah.
It's interesting they included that.
Yeah.
Considering it can be a bit of a controversial topic. What are your thoughts on that?
Right, right.
I mean, nuclear energy definitely comes with its own challenges, especially in terms of like safety and waste disposal, but it's also, a very powerful and reliable source of energy that, operates 24/7.
Yeah.
So do you think holistic energy and engineering's inclusion of nuclear, means they're taking a more pragmatic approach?
I think
So
so.
like considering all their options while still, prioritizing safety and sustainability?
Yeah, it seems like they're not just ideologically stuck on any one source.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're looking at the big picture
Yeah.
and choosing the tools that make the most sense.
Right. It's that holistic approach in action.
Exactly.
Finding the best way to meet energy needs while minimizing negative impacts.
For sure.
Okay, so we've got this diverse mix of energy sources all, strategically deployed.
Right.
But let's circle back to the elevators and escalators. How does that like seemingly unrelated piece fit into their overall vision?
Yeah, well, remember we were talking about how their approach goes beyond just generating energy.
You're right.
They're also thinking about how that energy is actually being used in a sustainable way, especially in these, rapidly growing urban environments.
Right, that whole idea of seamless shopping experiences and creating more livable cities.
Exactly.
But how are they actually making elevators and escalators more sustainable?
Well, if you look at their elevator services graphic,
Okay.
it really highlights their focus on innovation and using smart technology. They're putting in features that, optimize efficiency and reduce energy consumption.
Okay.
Think about like elevators that can predict traffic patterns
Whoa, wow.
and adjust how they operate to use less energy.
That's pretty futuristic.
Yeah, it's really cool stuff.
It's like they're applying that same level of like ingenuity and tech savvy to elevators that they are to solar farms.
Yeah, exactly. It all comes back to that interconnectedness, right? They're not just building these, isolated projects.
Yeah.
They're creating these integrated solutions that create a more sustainable and efficient urban ecosystem.
No, I can't help but like think back to Tshepo Murengwa's quote about renewable energy being the foundation for industrial growth in Africa.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's such a bold vision. But how is that vision actually being translated into, concrete actions and tangible benefits for communities?
Yeah. Well, one example that really comes to mind is their work in community-based solar initiatives.
Okay.
The Cabanga article mentioned that they're providing affordable solutions like home solar installations and battery backup systems.
Yeah.
Especially in rural areas where people don't have access to reliable power from the grid.
Right. Those initiatives empower like families and whole communities, right?
Yeah.
Giving them more control over their energy needs and reducing their reliance on those, unreliable and expensive grid systems.
Absolutely.
It's like they're democratizing access to clean energy.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
It's about more than just powering homes, though.
Right.
This kind of like distributed energy generation can also, be a catalyst for local economic development.
Well, for sure.
Imagine a small village where solar power enables local artisans to set up like workshops or farmers to run irrigation systems.
Yeah, yeah.
That's economic empowerment that's being driven by sustainable energy.
Exactly. It's like a ripple effect.
Yeah.
Starting with individual homes and spreading outward to transform entire communities.
And that ripple effect can extend to industries that have been struggling with the constant disruptions of load shedding.
Right.
With reliable power, businesses can operate more efficiently.
Yeah.
Employees can work regular hours, and overall productivity just increases.
Yeah, it creates stability, right?
Yeah, it's not just about keeping the lights on.
Right.
It's about creating a stable and predictable environment for businesses to thrive.
Absolutely.
And that stability can lead to job creation and economic growth.
Exactly. It all comes back to Tshepo Murengwa's vision of renewable energy as this driver of social and economic transformation in Africa.
Yeah.
And it's not just a vision. They're putting it into practice.
Yeah. Yeah.
One project at a time.
And they're not doing it alone, right?
Right.
Their key people graphic really highlights the diverse team
Oh, yeah.
that's behind all of this.
That's impressive.
You've got project managers, engineers, technicians, safety officers, all working together.
Yeah, working together towards this common goal.
That diversity is crucial for understanding and responding to the needs across the continent.
Absolutely.
It's a testament to their commitment to building a company that reflects the richness and complexity of Africa itself.
For sure.
It's inspiring to see so many talented people united by this common goal of creating a more sustainable future.
Yeah, for sure.
But let's be realistic for a moment.
Okay.
Every ambitious undertaking comes with its share of potential challenges.
Yeah.
What are some of the hurdles that holistic energy and engineering might encounter as they, continue to scale up their operations?
That's a really great question, and it's important to acknowledge that there are always complexities and potential downsides to consider, even with the best intentions.
Yeah.
For example, one of the biggest challenges in switching to renewable energy, especially in developing countries, is the initial cost.
Yeah, and then you also have to consider things like land use for large-scale solar and wind farms.
Right.
The potential environmental impact of these projects, right?
Yeah.
And making sure that local communities are benefiting and not being displaced or exploited.
Yeah, those are all huge factors.
Yeah.
And it's not just about the environmental and social impacts, right?
Yeah.
There's also the political and economic landscape to navigate.
Right.
Different countries have different regulations, different levels of government support,
Yeah.
and different priorities when it comes to energy development.
Right.
Holistic energy and engineering will need to be, really good at navigating all of that as they expand.
So even with the most sustainable technology and the best intentions,
Yeah.
there's a need for careful planning, right?
Absolutely.
Transparency and a genuine commitment to working with local communities and stakeholders
Yeah.
to make sure that these projects are being implemented responsibly and equitably.
I completely agree, and it's an ongoing process, right?
Yeah.
They'll need to be constantly assessing and adapting their approach
Right.
to minimize the risks and maximize the benefits for everyone involved.
Yeah.
But I think their emphasis on community engagement and their holistic way of thinking
Yeah.
suggests that they're aware of these issues and are actively working to address them.
It sounds like they're approaching this challenge with a lot of thoughtfulness.
Yeah.
And a genuine desire to get it right. And that's what makes their work so fascinating to follow.
It is.
It's not just about building power plants. It's
No.
about building a more sustainable and equitable future for Africa.
And it's a future that's being shaped by the actions of companies like Holistic Energy and Engineering,
Yeah.
by the policies of governments,
Yeah.
and by the choices that individuals make every single day.
Right.
It's a collective effort,
Yeah.
and everyone has a part to play.
That's a powerful reminder that even though we're just focusing on this one company in this deep dive,
Yeah,
the story is much bigger.
it is.
It's about a continent that's on the cusp of transformation.
right.
And the choices being made today, will have ripple effects for generations to come.
For sure.
We've talked a lot about the big picture impact of holistic energy and engineering,
Yeah.
their vision, their projects, the challenges they face.
Yeah.
But I want to zoom in even further
Right.
and explore how their work touches the lives of individuals, across Africa.
Yeah.
What does this energy transformation actually mean for a person living in a rural village or a bustling city?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
It's easy to get caught up in megawatts and all the big infrastructure stuff.
Right.
But sustainable development is really about people.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
about improving lives.
Right.
Let's imagine a family in a remote village that's finally connected to a reliable source of electricity,
Okay.
thanks to a solar microgrid that Holistic Energy and Engineering installed.
Okay. I'm picturing it. What changes for them?
Well, for starters, their kids can study at night.
Oh, wow.
Maybe even dream of, pursuing careers they never thought possible.
Right.
Food and medicine can be, safely refrigerated.
Right.
And they might even be able to start a small business powered by that electricity, generating income, contributing to their local economy.
It's like this whole world of possibilities just opens up
Exactly.
things we take for granted, like having a fridge or a light switch can
Right.
be like truly transformative
Yeah.
for families living without reliable power.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just about those basic necessities either.
Yeah.
Access to electricity can be especially empowering for women
Oh, God.
who often bear the brunt of energy poverty.
Right.
It can, free up time they would have spent collecting firewood or doing other energy-intensive chores.
And it can reduce their reliance on things like, kerosene lamps and open fires for cooking, which can have really serious health implications. Cleaner air, safer homes, more time for education and economic opportunities. It's like this ripple effect of positive change.
Exactly. And to think about the impact on people working in industries that are constantly dealing with load shedding. Imagine the relief of knowing that you can go to work and have a productive day.
Yeah.
Without worrying about the power cutting out.
Yeah, it's not just about avoiding inconvenience.
Right.
It's about economic stability and opportunity. Businesses can operate more efficiently. Employees can earn a steady income.
Right.
The whole community benefits.
The whole community benefits, yeah.
Now let's bring back those seamless and enjoyable shopping experiences that holistic energy and engineering talks about.
Okay.
With their elevator and escalator services.
Right.
It might seem, kind of trivial at first,
Yeah.
but it actually touches on something really important. Accessibility.
Yeah, okay.
It's about creating urban spaces that are inclusive and user-friendly for everybody.
Right.
Imagine like a parent with a stroller navigating a crowded mall.
Yep.
Or an elderly person being able to easily access public transportation.
Yeah, for sure.
Those are the moments where sustainable infrastructure like translates into real tangible benefits for people.
Absolutely.
It's about designing cities that are not only efficient but also comfortable and accessible for people of all ages and abilities.
Yeah, it's about creating a better quality of life for everyone.
It's like they're weaving together this intricate tapestry of interconnected solutions from solar panels to elevators, all with this goal of improving people's lives.
And that's what makes holistic energy and engineering such a compelling example of sustainable development, actually happening.
Yeah.
They're not just focused on technology or profit. They're driven by this deeper purpose to create a more sustainable and equitable future for everyone in Africa.
It's inspiring to see how a company can have such a profound impact, not just on a macro level, but on the lives of individuals.
Yeah, it's those individual stories that really bring it home.
It's a reminder that even seemingly small things, like a reliable elevator or solar panel on a rooftop, can have this ripple effect that extends way beyond that immediate benefit.
Absolutely, and the most exciting part is that this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
If holistic energy and engineering and other companies like them continue to push the boundaries, imagine what the possibilities are for Africa's future.
Exactly. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm left with this sense of optimism, but also a sense of responsibility.
Right.
It's clear that building a more sustainable future, it requires a collective effort. From governments to businesses to individuals, we all have a part to play.
I couldn't agree more. So the next time you come across a challenge or an opportunity in your own life, think about how you can contribute to this movement toward a more sustainable and equitable world.
Right.
Maybe it's supporting companies that share your values or advocating for change in your community, or even just making more conscious choices in your everyday life.
Every action, no matter how small, can be a step in the right direction.
Exactly.
And collectively, those steps can lead to a brighter future for all of us.
I think so too.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into holistic energy and engineering.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep striving for a better world.